Welcome back to Steadfast Strength, the Mom Fitness Podcast. I'm Kelsey Wolf, and I have Val back today.
Yes, excited to be here.
So last time I sat down with Val, we talked about habits. We spent a lot of time talking about nutrition. And today we're going to broaden the conversation a little bit more by talking about discipline in general. And Val is, again, like one of the most disciplined people I know. So she's the expert here today. Right.
It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life. All the little things, all the good dreams. I just wanna be in a beautiful every sunset, every sunrise, every new breath, every goodbye, all the mountains, the adventures, every moment. It's a beautiful life.
Okay, so Val, like, how would you define even like what discipline really is?
Man, it's something you do kind of no matter what.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like a habit.
Mm-hmm.
You try to stay consistent at it, and you do it no matter. It's just something you do.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Another way I heard it put was like discipline is keeping promises to yourself.
That's a good one.
Like
yeah,
I
for
thought
sure.
I hadn't heard it put like that before, but it's like you say you're gonna do something, you do it, and you just keep showing up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I'm excited to dive more into this because as moms, like there's so many different options for things to be disciplined in.
Absolutely.
And then there's like the things that we just have to do. So we're probably going to talk about it more in relation to fitness, nutrition, things like that.
Right.
But like as moms, like we have the choice every single day to be disciplined or to not be disciplined.
Right.
So how would you say like what are the struggles with discipline?
Oh, I think sometimes you don't feel like doing something.
Yeah.
But when you have that discipline in place, it makes you do it. And I think being disciplined as a mom is key, because if you're not disciplined, I mean, you're going to be stressed and all over the place and not know what's happening, and get up and do the day.
Yeah. Like discipline creates freedom, which I think is like so huge for moms. Like a lot of the time it seems like discipline is like one more thing, or like if there's something that you want to be disciplined at, it feels like more. But I think like what I've come to realize over the years about discipline is like it creates room for more.
Absolutely.
Really.
Yeah.
So going back to like why moms maybe struggle with discipline, like we're tired, we don't feel like it sometimes. There's so many other things to take care of.
Yeah.
We feel like those other things, like our kids, our husbands, are more important than the things we need for ourselves. And then, like you said, like sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. Like the motivation just isn't there.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah.
Because motivation is where like the weather, or even the weather this week has just been kind of icky. So I was like, I don't feel like doing anything, but I'm disciplined enough that I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
Your mood, your environment, all those things come into play. But when that discipline is in place, that really keeps it going.
So what's the difference between motivation and discipline?
I guess motivation, I feel like, is more of emotions.
Yeah.
And can be fleeting. And then I feel discipline is more of a habit.
Yeah.
That you have.
Yeah. I feel like motivation is like a mood. Like like emotions. like I feel like it today. I let the external factors determine what I'm going to do versus like the muscle that's in place, the structure that's in place that
with
just
discipline.
Yeah, with discipline.
And I feel like especially in the fitness world, working out and that type of thing, like you're motivated, like, yeah, I'm gonna look great. That motivation is gonna run out real quick.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna show up and then go home and look in the mirror, nothing's changed.
Yeah. So what are some, yeah, okay. So that's like one thing that's motivating, like the desire to want to look different, maybe. What are some other like common motivation traps, maybe?
One I think is that you want to look different.
Yeah.
And maybe you have the energy.
Yeah.
Maybe you just had a kid and you're ready now to get back into shape and you have that motivation, like, yes, I'm going to do it, blah, 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 blah. And as we know, life happens. That's going to fall off.
Yeah. I think there's like, I can think of a lot of times where I felt like, yeah, let's go, like being around certain people, like I feel motivated, or being in certain environments, I feel motivated, or seeing like an inspiring quote or seeing someone else accomplish things. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Like that's what I'm going to do. And it's like in that moment that feels like very powerful and inspirational. And sometimes like those motivating things, like surrounding yourself with motivation to get you started
is good
as something, like it's good. And the more you can surround yourself with those kinds of things, like that might be part of what you need to do to help establish discipline, is figure out how to keep your motivation high. But like the discipline doesn't depend on the motivation.
I mean, I look at it like a run, like a race. Like I signed up for a race, so that's my motivation. Like, if I'm bound and determined to do well in that race, well, once the race is over, if I don't have that discipline in place, then screw it, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done running.
Yeah.
So I think there's things in place, like you said, you can put into play to help with that motivation, and get that discipline going.
Yeah. Like a lot of people do that. Like they want something on their calendar to train for, and it's fun and motivating. I see that with challenges too, like you do a challenge, you're with other people doing it, you're hoping for short-term, like quicker results because you're going to be super disciplined. It's like very motivating. But then what happens after that? Like, does the discipline.
Right. And taking away a few things that you did during that motivation period will help you continue with that discipline.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so there's like science behind this. Like if you're struggling with discipline, like again, you don't need to use like shame to motivate you. Like you're not lazy or broken. Like you've just established patterns and habits that aren't serving you, or like thought patterns, mindsets. And so we have that like neuroplasticity in our brain where when we think things, it like forms the highways to that. So I think that that's part of the thing with like habit development and developing discipline, is you have to teach your brain new ways to think. And that takes work to like, I mean, Emily and I just talked about it with like body image stuff.
Yeah.
Like you have to teach your brain, like you have to notice what you're thinking, stop and think something differently. And you have to do that like repeatedly. So I think the same is true with like, nutrition or exercise. So let's like talk about that a little bit. Like what are some of the unhealthy thoughts that you have? Let's start with exercise first.
Well, I think some of the negative thoughts are like if you have a bad meal, I'm going to get 2 workouts in today and just kill myself in the gym. That's a negative reaction instead of like, okay, I'm just going to get back into my habit. It's okay. Bad meal's fine. It's no big deal. Telling yourself that that's okay. I think that's one negative that you do. And I think, like you come in and you lift heavy, you feel great after, and then you go home, you're like, and nothing changed. I'm like, yes, it did. It just takes time. Like,
It takes time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like, okay, this is definitely like a off-topic thing, but like it is comparison. I feel like we talk about it in every episode, but like comparison is so huge. But like I think back to like being in 7th grade and running the bike trail in Waterloo in the morning, like in 7th grade, like I don't know what you were doing in 7th grade or what someone else was doing in 7th grade, but like if you started building a habit in 7th grade and now you're 40 years old, like you've had a lot of time to build like your aerobic capacity, like to train your like tendons and things to adapt to that. Like if you're stepping out to run for the first time at 40 years old and you're comparing yourself to someone who started in 7th grade, that is not fair to yourself.
Absolutely.
And the same with like nutrition, the same with lifting.
Well, and like social media has a
Yeah.
huge thing on that. Like you see these videos of people running and stuff. Well, you don't know what they're doing on the other side,
Yeah.
or if they manipulated the video or
Yes.
the picture or whatever.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and they might not work and
Yeah.
have all the time in the world
Yeah.
and have a trainer that is with them every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. The
um,
circumstances.
yeah.
Like there's so
Yeah.
much to the story that
Yeah.
we don't see.
Yeah. A friend of mine, I was talking to her kind of back into like negative talks. Like she grew up kind of in a little bit of a broken home and poverty, and she told herself, I'm never going to be that. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to, and her brother didn't. He said, this is what I grew up in. This is what it is. This is the cards I'm dealt. Well, now she is very successful, and he is living the life that he thought he was going to live. But she kept telling herself, I'm going to be different. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And she has totally succeeded. I think that has a lot to do with discipline. Like, I'm this person. I'm going to do it. And you keep positive self-talk. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. So, we got to come back to that, the identity piece of that, because that's so important. And, like, again, the messages you tell yourself. So, like, okay, let's just go there. Let's go to identity, and we'll come back to the other thing. So, like, if you tell yourself that you're someone who works hard, like, if you want that to be your identity, and you're constantly telling yourself that, like, then your actions align with that. You know. Okay, so where do we want to go? Do we want to be talking about negative things or identity things right now? What do you feel like?
I think we can do identity.
Okay, let's do identity.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the identity things that you like tell yourself or identify with?
And it comes back to with being disciplined, like identity. I want to feel good and be able to be active with my kids and still kind of beat my kids at things if I can. Some things I can't anymore.
Yeah.
But I want to be strong. I want to be active. I want to, even when my kids are older, and be able to be with their kids, hopefully in the future, and doing activities and not be so tired and worn out and going up a set of stairs. I don't want to be that person that's huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
I just want to feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about, like, I don't want to get this conversation like super tied into like hustle culture, like I sometimes default on the end of that where I'm like doing too much.
Yeah.
And I have to balance that. But like, I like to be someone who like goes for it, like who isn't afraid of a challenge, like who lives adventurously.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes I have to think like, okay, like maybe something scares me, or like maybe I'm intimidated by a particular challenge, or I'm feeling like I'm kind of tired, or like those lazy feelings, kind of like if I was someone who like lived adventurously, or if I'm someone who works hard or doesn't make excuses for herself, then now how do I act? And then doing that, whatever that thing is,
right
in front of me,
right.
Yeah.
And I think people just need to start small if they've never really gotten into kind of seeing what they eat and what they, or exercise or faith or whatever it is. You just start small and say, I want to be a person that knows lots of vegetables and what's good for me. Like, you just start reading those labels and just start that small. I'm going to learn this. I know I'm going to do it. I can.
Yeah. Maybe even writing that out. Like, I'm someone who cares about my health. Like, I care about what I put into my body.
Yep.
I am someone who wants to know the Lord deeply.
Yep.
Like, I am someone who rises to the challenge. Like, whatever those things are, like, I am someone who.
Right.
And then, like, even thinking, okay, like, if that's true, then what kind of things does that kind of, add in. Okay, so if I'm someone who cares about my health, I eat. Like, I eat like I care about my health. I train like I care about my health. I sleep like I care about my health. The things I drink align with that. If I'm someone who wants to love the Lord and know him intimately, like, I need to be someone who like spends time in the Word and prays.
And daily devotional.
Like, what kind of things does that kind of person do?
Right.
And pick, like you said, starting.
Right. And if you
small.
want to be disciplined, it is also too about building those things around you to make that identity more prevalent.
Yeah. What are some of those things for you?
I think
or in
it's
general?
community, the people, here at the gym. I think that really helps. But, I mean, it helps obviously with the motivation as well. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I know they're going to be there. I better go.
Right. Or like last night we were lifting and I'm like, how many reps did you get? You know, like
Yes.
what weight did you use? You know, like not in like a negative way, but it's like I know, like if Alex is lifting it, I know I that's what I should be doing, and I'm like tired and dragging today, so
Yeah.
like I need that to feed on that a
Yeah.
little bit.
I think the support system of having somebody or the community is a huge thing. And just even if you don't, even having that coach, that person that you kind of touch base with every once in a while, you know, to say, yes, you're sane, or yes, you're not doing this, or add this, or what to help you.
Yeah.
But for me, it is probably the community for fitness and working out, and you know, I'm helping coach, so that gets me here as well
Yeah.
to encourage others and be more rounded, I guess.
And that like aligns with identity too, you know, like you're a fitness coach. Like, you know, like I love having that identity because it holds me accountable.
Right.
You know,
Right.
You know?
Gotta look the part a little bit.
yeah. Or at least act like
Act
it.
like
you know?
It's like when you go get your hair done and the gal's like, she looks really bad. I'm like, ooh, do I want to get, you know, you gotta look the part.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Like maybe I don't want her doing my hair.
Right. I mean, I'm not shredded or
Yeah.
anything, but I'm
You're
healthy. I'm
Yeah.
active.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And shredded, another thing, like the cost of getting shredded is super high. You know, like I think that that's one thing social media has led people astray in so bad, to think that if you eat clean and you train hard that you'll be shredded. And it's like, no. Like you have to, that's different level. The cost of it is high, and what it costs you
mentally.
mentally, like that's discipline on a whole different level. Socially, you know, like yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, back to structures and systems and things like that. I think like for me, like having scheduled time, like as a mom, it's, you know, like I talked about this before too, like I have my backups, you know, like my plan is to do this at 5:15 a.m., but if the kids are up at 3, you know, like my next plan is this, like having backup plans in place. But I feel like one thing that derails people a lot is like springtime and summer. They start to think like, oh, it's nice out, I don't really need the gym, like I'm going to do my own thing. But the lack of the structure, like and the increase in social activities, like derails people a lot.
And we think, oh, I'll get it in later, but then summer you can't. It's just really gets hard because you are busy and doing other things.
Yeah, as a gym owner, I have to like talk to my other gym owner friends and be like, what's your attendance like? Because I feel like I get depressed because I'm like, no one's coming to the gym anymore. You know, like I have to remember that summer, like attendance always drops off. But then I am talking to people and I'm like, oh, it does, but I wish that it didn't, because it's a trap for a lot of people, I think, to think that, oh, I'm going to do it on my own. But without the structure in place, I feel like it doesn't happen.
And I think it comes back to the motivation. People are motivated. Oh, summer's coming. I'm going to work hard and exercise and do all this. And the summer hits. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know,
like
that's
either
their motivation ran out. Like I'm motivated for summer. I'm getting my body in shape for summer and look good and feel good for summer, which is great. But then if you don't have the discipline, you drop off.
Yeah. Or like, either people meet their goal and then they're like, okay, I'm here and I'm done, you know, or they don't meet their goal and they're like, okay, well, what was the point anyhow, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to a lot of things, like one, the discipline, but two, like your identity. Like if you're training for motivation, like this isn't part of your lifestyle or who you are, you're just trying to whatever. And then it also makes me think about, again, Emily and I's conversation about body image. Like if you're just training for that extrinsic motivation, like you'll burn out, you know, like you will be on the roller coaster of meeting your goal, falling off, or not meeting your goal, not caring. Like I care again, let me try again, not meeting it. You know, like it just becomes this like cycle. That's hard, where if you fall in love with the process
and feeling good, and
even
though things aren't changing on the outside, you're gonna start feeling good on the inside. You know, feeling so much better mentally and physically.
And if you start somewhere, you end up in a different place eventually. Okay, so we kind of segued into the identity piece, and maybe there's more to talk about with that, but let's go back to like some of the common thought traps, things that people think that then they act on versus like thinking it, recognizing, oh, that's like a mood or a motivation. I need to replace it with like a disciplined thought.
Right. Well, I think one is too, like, I have to get in shape before I go to the gym.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
No.
Which is no.
No.
Yeah.
Please come in here.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
see us, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll start you off on the right foot, start you slow, even if it is body weight to dumbbells. We're going to progress you. We're not going to go and have you throwing up heavy weights above your head right away.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes like we'll even progress. We have a client right now who like wanted to progress and had been here for a while and did progress and then was like, So then we're like taking it back, you know, like that's what we're here for.
Right. That's why
like,
you have a coach. That's
yeah.
what, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a thought trap that keeps people stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah. I'm too tired.
I'm too tired. I'm not going to go today.
Yeah. And then like, I feel like that one spirals. Like I'm too tired. I sleep. And then we start to justify it. Like it'd be better for me to sleep and then I'll get up in the morning and do it. But there's just always more that's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like the funny thing is when you do say that I'm tired and then you then you lay there awake, you're not sleeping again, you know, and then it's on your mind and then you're a little stressed out. Now when am I going to get my workout in? When am I going to get my meal prep ready? When am I we're always tired.
Yeah, then you end up scrolling social media for 2 hours instead and just completely wasting time.
And it just gets a deeper and deeper hole of different things.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying like, maybe you didn't go to bed till midnight, 1 o'clock. Yes, then that's a time you shut off your alarm and sleep.
Yeah.
You know, sleep is obviously very important as well.
But if you're noticing that it's like 3 days in a row,
yes,
you might just have to do it.
Yeah. That's when the discipline comes in. You're like, I'm tired, but I'm going, I'm up, I'm here, let's just go. And once you get here and start moving, even if it's not your best workout or you still move and you still feel better and you're ready for the day.
Yeah.
If you're a morning person. I know some people like to work out at night.
Yeah. I worked out. Well, I went for a run last night.
Yeah.
But then I was like wired.
Yes.
Like I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yep.
But like I didn't want to make the excuse for myself not to do it because of that. So a member of the gym reminded me of a quote on Monday. We had kind of a small crew Monday morning. And it was like rainy and dreary.
Yes.
Which, like, those things mess with my mind so much. Like, I don't feel like doing anything when it's like that outside. But, like, you got to take that step and do it. But anyhow, the member said, never miss a Monday. I'm like, yeah, never miss a Monday. Like, Monday, the start of the week, like, start it off strong. You know, like, whatever that is. Like, you know, instead of... You know, like there's also the thing like I'll start again on Monday, which like that Monday becomes kind of like next Monday and next Monday and next
the
Monday.
weekend. I'll get it and start Monday.
Yeah, like just start today, like start it strong and just go for it, you know. But it's that idea that like what you do feeds on it. So like you're saying, like if you just get up and do the workout, like then you get breakfast in and you get ready for the day and like your energy is higher and you're just going. Where if you start your day off like missing a workout, then it's like,
and then you start more of the negative talk. It's like, it's too lazy. Man, and then you get again to the deeper hole of, I didn't work out today. I'm just gonna eat this. I didn't, like
I'll start again a different day, you know. Which, and if that did happen where you missed your workout, like, okay, you missed your workout. Yeah. Now start the next thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Like. Okay, I missed my workout. I'm going to eat a healthy breakfast instead of like, meh. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Other thought traps, like I'm too sore.
It hurts.
Which
there's a difference between soreness and hurting.
Yeah, I want to do a podcast with Andy on pain.
Yeah.
I think that would be good.
Yeah.
And like the level of soreness, like sometimes you do need some more recovery time. You know, like if you come train, it's like not going to be productive. But also, like that shouldn't be an excuse not to move. Yeah. You know, like sometimes movement like helps work that soreness out. And if you're just trying to establish a habit with working out, like don't skip because you're
No.
sore. Like, come and
move.
move. Yeah.
Even if it is
Yeah.
body weight exercises
Yeah.
or whatever, like just move. And
Yeah.
the more you sit, the worse it is when
Yeah.
you're sore.
If you come tell your coach, like, I'm so sore, like, we'll work with you.
Yes.
Like, we're not going to have you do the same exact thing. And,
Yeah.
you know.
Put the 45s on and let's go.
Yeah. Squat as many as you can today. You can't sit down.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think too, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
I've never been into a gym,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know what this style of gym is. There's so many fitness things out there, and maybe you've done cycling or yoga or something like that, and then coming into a gym here is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Or people see CrossFit and they're
Yeah.
scared of that word, and
Yeah.
well, we're not CrossFit, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there's being scared, and I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm doing. I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to be embarrassed, or I'm not going to be able to lift much.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can even do 20 bodyweight squats. That's
Yeah.
okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like those, yeah, it's okay. Everyone starts somewhere.
Mhm.
And when I hear those things, like maybe I'm too harsh, but I'm like, excuses. Like they're just excuses.
do it.
Yeah, just do it. Like humble yourself.
Mhm.
And like love yourself enough to be humbled, like the quality of your life depends on what you're doing now. So like
Yes.
you can say like I'm too scared, or I don't know how to do these things, or I'll be so embarrassed to train with people I know.
Mhm.
But it's like that's like we love each other here, and we encourage each other here, and we like our mindset is that like we want to be fit for life. So like whether you're 65 and training for the first time, or you have an 11-year-old kid here training for the first time, or you're coming from a background of yoga or cycling, like you said, like we're here.
Yeah.
Like we're in it together.
Right.
Yeah.
And everyone is different. Everyone's on
Yeah.
different, and everyone's different body types as well. I think,
Yeah.
I remember Emily saying like when she brought a friend in, she thought all of them looked like her. Emily's very fit, and
Emily's very fit. Yeah.
but she's like, oh, they all don't look like you.
Yeah.
Not everyone looks a little different.
Yeah.
And some people you may not think are very, very strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Or people who are very, very skinny might not be very strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Everything's
there's-
different.
Everyone's so different. So don't judge, or don't do that to yourself. Like, I'm overweight, I'm not very strong, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Or
may
like,
surprise yourself.
yeah, I think another trap is like I'm a runner. Like I feel like an old school mindset is that like strength isn't good for running.
Yeah.
Which is not
Wrong.
true. Yeah. Yeah. Not true.
Yeah.
And like running, like we love to run. Running's great. But it's training a different system,
Yeah.
Strength training is different than running, and strength training should support your running. So if running is what you care about, like, Alex is training for a marathon right now, but she's still in here, like hitting a couple strength sets every week. It should support your running.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're just running, you're missing out on a different element of fitness, and it doesn't have to, and it should not, like harm your running. It should enhance,
Yes.
make you better.
When I trained for my half last fall, I did a couple longer runs, but I didn't follow like my training as well as I normally have.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, my fitness carried me through. Like I went faster than I thought. Like I told my husband and my kids to be there at a certain time, and I beat them to the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But like it was truly like my strength training and the other stuff that helped me finish my run and go faster.
Cool.
Like I totally saw a difference
Yeah. That's
compared to
awesome.
what I've done in the past.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other like mindset things or thought patterns that you can think of off the top of your head? I think one that I'm thinking of is like, I don't know the exact thought, but like needing to take care of the kids first,
Yeah.
or like,
Time.
yeah, time. Like I don't have time. Yeah. But it's like, no one has the time.
No.
Really.
Everyone has all their things going on.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is busy in their own ways. For
Yeah.
Sure.
And I've seen like some things going around on social media, like there's like one that's like everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. But then it's like, no, we don't all have the same 24 hours in the day. Like, I'm a mom. I don't have the same 24 hours as you, you know, which is true. Like,
Yeah.
there, you know, like, you got to get the kids to school. You got to get the kids fed, you know. There are, like, all these things that you do have to do.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Like, getting creative, like, you'll make time for what matters, you know. So, like, it might not look the way you want it to all the time.
Right.
You know, it might be, like, a 20-minute AMRAP of different body weight movements versus an hour strength training session in the gym. But like, I think that that's another mindset thing that holds people back is like, if I can't do it the way that I want to, then I'm not going to do it. You know, and it's like, well, something's better than nothing.
Yep.
So what can I do today? You
And
know?
it comes down to that discipline part of
Yeah.
kind of planning your week
Yeah.
and knowing, and maybe you're not a morning person, but that's the only time you have.
And it's
know?
like guaranteed, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
there's not a lot going on at 5 a.m.
Nope.
Unless you have little ones that are waking you up at that time. But hopefully you
Yeah.
have support.
But it, like for me, like if I don't, most of the time, if I don't get it in at 5 in the morning, 5:15 in the morning, it's probably not happening. Or it is a quick little workout here
Yeah.
and there. Just because the kids are busy and I'm at work and after school kids have activities and then I want to be home with the kids and have that family time as well. So I think it's being disciplined to know when you have to fit it in your schedule.
Yeah. And then it doesn't, I mean, I'm a morning person and getting up at 4:45 the first few times, like after not doing it for a while,
It's rough.
it doesn't feel good.
No.
You know, like I don't know very many people that like the first time they wake up at 4:45 are like,
Here we go.
yeah, I feel so great, you know? So whenever people are like, it's just so hard, I'm like,
It is.
yeah, we know.
Still is. I've been doing it for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
And I'm still like,
But the good thing about waking up at 4:45 is you don't have a lot of time to think about it.
Yep.
Like, you have to get up, get dressed, and get to the gym. You know, you don't
Yeah.
have time to deliberate. Like, am I gonna go today? How do I feel? Like, you're just up and you go.
yeah. And it's like, it's a hard bit. People go back to sleep, but then you're really messing up with your sleep. So
Yeah.
your alarm's off, just get up and go. Get it in.
Just go.
It's- And like I said, the hardest part is literally just getting out of bed.
Yeah.
It really is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Once you're up and I get my clothes on and I brush my teeth and I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, we were
I'm
up.
tired, but here we go.
Yeah. And then we all kind of sit in the center and look at each other for a minute.
Like, okay, now it's time to go. Now we need to work out.
Okay, we're going.
Here we go.
Yeah. That's one thing I really like about community too, and like the structure of the gym and of following a program, is that I don't waste time like wandering around.
Yeah.
Like I hate the inefficiency of like walking into a place and be like, oh, what am I gonna do today?
Yeah.
You know, and doing a little bit of something and not really feeling like it was effective, and then bouncing around to something else, and
Yeah.
you know, like there's nothing worse than, well, there probably are worse things, but it's super frustrating to get up, make the time to do something, and then feel like it wasn't
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah.
And it maybe isn't if you're not following a structured.
Yeah. And in all honesty too, like the majority of people don't understand it all. So
Yeah.
they may be going in and kind of using a gym, which is great.
Mhm.
They're moving, but is it effective?
Right. Like, what are your goals? You know? Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it in light of nutrition a little bit.
Yeah. I was going back though.
Oh,
For
sorry, yeah.
The early mornings or
Oh, yeah.
whatever discipline. Like for me, I set out my workout clothes. It is like right by
Oh, good idea.
the bathroom. So I grab it and I go in the bathroom, turn on
Uh-huh.
the light, and I'm going to have my morning routine, and it's right there. It's easy to grab. So I'm not like digging in my drawers and trying to figure, like it is ready to go for the morning.
Yeah.
Like it is if I don't have it set out, that makes it even harder.
Yeah, that's a really good. Yeah, like we set the coffee pot the night before too, because I love to have a cup of black coffee in the morning. Like,
She's late if she doesn't get it.
I know, because I'm like, I'm not leaving the house without it. Like, why didn't the coffee pot start?
Sorry guys, the coffee didn't go.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'm disciplined with my coffee routine, I guess. Yeah, but like, yeah, those are systems and structures to like make it easier
Yes.
on
It's
yourself.
building your surrounding to make your discipline successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, like, you know, with runs, like, too, like, if I know I might have an opportunity to run in, you know, like, while kids are doing something at an activity, like, making sure I have the right stuff with me, you know, like, I know Andy does that a lot for work, like, packing things with him so that if he gets an opportunity to do something over lunch or hit a trail after work, like he's ready and prepared for it,
Yeah.
you know, where if you're not prepared for it, then, you know, it adds a lot of steps to something that's already difficult to
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Nutrition, I
Yeah.
think is what you said. What
Yeah.
was the question?
Like, what are some of the mindsets or thoughts that happen with nutrition that prevent people from being disciplined?
It's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big one that I hear a lot. Like, it's just so expensive to eat healthy. Yes and no, but everything's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Healthcare is also expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Visit to the doctor because you're having heart issues or diabetes.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Medicine is also expensive. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. One I hear a lot is like, I just can't eat whatever. I just can't eat it.
mhm.
But that to me is like, getting up at 4:45 is hard. You know,
Yeah.
like for the, I don't really like it. Like, well, sorry. Like, just eat it until you like it.
Right.
Like, yeah, chocolate tastes better.
Yep.
Yeah, ranch is delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah. Like, do you care about your health or not?
Yeah.
You know, not that you can't have those things, but you know,
Right.
if you're always thinking like, oh, this doesn't taste good,
Right.
versus like, this is gonna make me feel good, or this is what a healthy person eats. Again, like tying it back to other things. Then,
Right. I think too, like for me, like I was not a huge fan of a lot of different vegetables. As younger, you know, you don't.
yeah,
And I was a little bit pickier, but then I just started eating it, and then now there's so many things that I like that I didn't before. Like I used to hate tomatoes, mushrooms. I would never
Same.
eat it.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
No. But now I love them. Like,
yeah.
I think you just gotta just eat it.
Yeah, eat it and try
Eat
it. Yeah, and then you like start to crave it, you know?
Okay, well, especially like if you're gone for a weekend or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, all I want, when we're out of power,
Yeah.
you know, like all I want is some fresh vegetables. All I want
Yeah.
is some fresh food. I don't want to eat out anymore. I don't.
Yeah.
You just crave the.
I just want a big green salad, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. But that's something that changes over time. You know, it's not like the first time you eat it, you're like, this is delicious compared to my cheesy, creamy, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, gravies and cream cheese filled things are very tasty and very calorie dense.
Yeah. Or like the thing is, I guess now I'm more aware of like just read the label, and
Yeah.
then you kind of get grossed out sometimes.
Yeah.
There was literally muffins in our break room a while back, the little mini muffins, and like 3 of them were 300 and some calories. One mini muffin was over 100 calories, which whatever, but then you like read the ingredients, and there was not like one good thing in it at all. It was
Yeah.
just crap.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, ugh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat that. I'm
Yeah.
sure it tastes delicious, but I'm not, like, I don't even know what I'm eating.
Yeah.
It's not a blueberry muffin.
Yeah. No. I mean, like, Andy's that way with like cake and stuff too. Like, or he'll look at the frosting container and
Ugh.
it's like, it's just oil. Like, I'm eating oil and sugar. Like, it's not butter and milk and sugar. Like canned frosting is oil. Like, oh, yeah, I don't want to eat
I think
that.
sometimes just reading the label, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, gross.
Yep. What was that?
Yeah.
Where was that created?
Yeah, in a lab somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, the same place the plastic was created.
Yep.
Like, so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I feel like like that for me like sparks a little bit of motivation. Like, ew, yeah, I'm not eating that. You know, but then like doing that time and time again forms that discipline.
And even being disciplined, it's really hard to say no sometimes to those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're at work and you have a break room full of goodies or whatever. Like we've had cookies and all that, this donut holes and all that this week. And like every time I go in, I'm salivating. I'm like, I want it. Nope, walk away.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, when I get home, like, oh, I said no to all that. Like it kind of feels good.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't need it and I'm
Yeah.
okay. Like I know if
Yeah.
I have couple of them, I'm not going to feel the best.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. What would you say about like seasons? Like, are there seasons where you would say yes to some more things, or
Maybe.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I think too, it just depends on like how I'm feeling for the day too sometimes, which isn't good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But being mindful a little bit. But and there are certain things that I just probably won't ever really eat again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
well, for instance, donuts, like they taste great, but I don't feel good after I eat them.
Yeah.
And so every time I take a bite or eat it, I'm like, oh, I feel gross. So why did I eat that?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, so they're
Just
not as
gonna
tempting.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I have
I-
some of those too that are
yeah.
just kind of like,
Nah, I'll just pass.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, unless I'm absolutely like starving to
yeah,
death.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, yep.
Yeah, it's good to be disciplined, really, really disciplined. I think for a while, like we've talked about
Yeah.
in the past, but it is also good to let yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
because then you're gonna binge more if you don't.
Yeah. I think recognizing the season that you're in is important. Like, if you are in a season where it's like, no, like I've been out of control. Like, I need to tighten it up and be disciplined. Like, then do that.
Yeah.
And again, keep the promises to yourself. Like, I'm going to be disciplined in this area for this long.
Yep.
Whatever that is. But then I think about like women who are pregnant or postpartum, like that might your discipline might be in different areas. Like you probably need not a ton of extra calories, but a little bit of extra calories. Like your discipline might be, okay, no matter how I feel, I'm still gonna move, but like I'm gonna allow myself the grace to sleep or like have an extra snack when I'm hungry because I need it.
Yes.
But that's a different mindset and a different season. I think about spring and like sports, like how can you maintain discipline in that season? Like you're super busy with kids and sports. Like I think you've talked about it before. Like you plan your food, you take your food, you move. Like on tournament days, you're up walking around or getting a run in when you can, because those are things that like are non-negotiables to you,
Yes.
no matter what season.
And I'm
you're
disciplined
in.
enough. I feel like
Yeah.
that I'm just gonna get it in. Like
Yeah, not obsessed,
no, just
but like disciplined.
Yeah.
Like I like to feel this way. I'm gonna get my movement in.
Yep. Like Brenna's volleyball tournament, we were literally sitting all day, and there was a break in between. And I'm like, it's not the warmest outside, but it was sunny, so I'm like, and I literally walked a little loop for like 15 minutes. I got a
Yeah.
mile in, and that was my movement for the day.
Yeah. I feel like the more committed you are to a habit, or the more you see opportunities for it. Like when we travel, I like to just do body squats in the bathroom because it's like it's a
stand.
time. Yeah, like I've been sitting in the car, I want to move, but I'm at a gas station in rural Nebraska. Like, where am I gonna go walk? Like,
Right.
I'm gonna move in the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah, like you just see the opportunity, even in the midst of like not a lot of opportunity.
And my family makes fun of me because I always have a cooler when we go places. Like it's in the car if we need something or a little bit healthier option, because 90% of the time concession stand stuff, there's not a healthy option. So I always kind of have stuff to set me up for success. Now,
Yeah.
there are days where I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I may splurge a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm always like kind of preparing in my mind the night before, the day before, like, okay, we have a volleyball tournament and we're going to be there at 7:30 a.m. and it might go till 4 o'clock or
Yeah.
it might go past lunch. Okay, do I want to have lunch at there? I have no idea what the food's going to be. So I
Yeah.
throw stuff in, and sometimes I bring all that food home.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Or I will even just like, what do I have? Like, okay, I have some mangoes and a protein bar. Like, that's not going to get me through the whole day, but that'll at least get me through one of this,
Right.
like now I'm not eating
Two
all,
awful options.
all the awful options. Like, I'm at least having one,
Right.
decent.
Right.
Or I think about that on trips, I feel like a lot of people are like, I earned the right, like, I'm on the trip, like,
Vacation.
I'm gonna whatever, and like if that's how you like to live and you're okay with the consequences of that,
Right.
peace, do it, but for me, I'm just not that way. Like, I like to feel disciplined still, and I will have like dessert and stuff like
Right.
that, but like again, like I don't want to be buying airport food and eating out and dessert. Like, so we like pack our snacks, a lot of
Yeah.
the time. Just to help with staying on track, because it matters to us. That's part of our identity
Right.
and how we live our lives.
Right. And then it comes back to like, eating healthy is so expensive. Well, like, you just spent money to get into your kids' sporting event, and that's not cheap anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you're buying stupid, expensive crap food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean, really, like
yeah.
chicken strips are $7. Like
Yeah.
nachos are $4. Like
Yeah.
I brought my tuna packet and that was $1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everyone likes tuna, I know that, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or a protein bar is
Yeah.
$2, $1.
Yeah.
Like, so you can. It comes back to being kind of an excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And healthy food is a little bit more expensive, but if you meal prep it and plan ahead a little bit, like then it's really not.
Yeah. And I think it depends on like what you're buying too.
Yeah.
Like if you're buying like a cauliflower crust organic pizza, like yes, that is more expensive than the $2.99 Tony's pizza or Jack's pizza,
Yes.
But even that like organic cauliflower crust pizza isn't like healthy. It's branded health. It's made out of better quality ingredients, which I don't know. It just depends on where you're at in your journey. If you want to have a pizza and you want it to feel healthier, then yeah, that expensive pizza's it's more expensive,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, like you're saying, like a can of tuna and a bag of baby carrots and a thing of hummus isn't really that much more expensive than like everything that goes into a casserole, Like it just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always, and I just know especially on those certain sporting events where you're going to be sitting all night or all day or whatever. Like even just having that a little bit of a healthier, like, okay, I'm not moving, but I'm eating a little bit better.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You're going somewhere, well, I'm moving more. I may not be eating the best. Like I feel like as long as you have a little bit of a balance, give and take. There.
Yeah. Give and take.
Yeah.
But I think that confidence comes from having done it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have to start somewhere or you'll never end up anywhere different.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing, somewhat disciplined with the nutrition on that for over a year now.
Yeah.
At least
probably
2 years.
longer. Yeah, way longer.
Where I've been,
Yeah.
just kind of different mindset especially now that the season of life I'm in, we are very busy with kids' sports and activities that we're not home as much. And, then it's just like you're spending so much money going to these events and things. And then it's like, okay, now I have to buy food and I have to go out. Like it is made, for me personally, I feel better when I bring my own food. And just it takes away the stress of what are we going to do for supper? When we're out, we're going to be gone until 8:00 at night. Like it just takes away a little bit of that stress too.
Yeah. Again, that structure creates like more freedom in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think about the mental load of moms and like everything that we're planning for and preparing for, schedules, games. Mm-hmm. Are their clothes clean? Who's going to let the dog out? Like there's just so many things happening in the background of our minds that like if we have structures in place for some of these things that really matter to us, like then things are just happening. Mm-hmm. Like I'm getting up at 5 to get my workout in. Like you don't have to think about it because it's just something that you do. Yeah. Like every Sunday after church, we go to Costco and we buy bulk vegetables and chicken. And we know that like at least we have baked chicken and vegetables to warm up if we don't have the time and energy to be creative. Right. Like to me that, like you're saying, like it takes the stress out of it because it's how we live. It's how we do it. And I think that again, like when people who don't have these disciplines in place look at people who have a lot of disciplines in place, it feels very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like where do I even start?
Yeah.
So where would you recommend to start?
I think it's starting small.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to have every meal down to the perfect amount of protein, vegetables, whatever.
Right.
Just know that you need to prioritize the protein. So make sure you have some type of protein planned and then some vegetables and, maybe a little fruit for your carb or whatever it is. And I just take that little bit of time. Yeah. And even if it's writing it out and planning out your week, or if it's planning out even just for the next day, like the night before, okay, tomorrow we have volleyball, we have track, we have this, and okay, so I need, like even that 10 minutes before bed.
Yeah. Yep.
It doesn't, you don't need over an hour to plan for, at least for me, I don't feel like I need a big long time to plan my meals for the
No.
next day or whatever.
No.
I just,
Yeah. Again, this is where like coach and community can help, because you're like being taught by people and you're like around people talking about these things versus just like, sometimes I think you have to narrow down your influences. Like if you're just navigating the world of social media, like
no.
I don't even know where to start with some of that stuff, But like if you're around people who are like, hey, we shop at Costco and we get the chicken and we get these Pura Vida vegetables and then we buy this protein bar, like that's helpful to hear people talking about what they're doing, so then it's like, okay, every Sunday that's what we're going to do, or Saturday or whatever your day is, like, and you just do that. Like you just start there. Like we're going to buy chicken every week or beef or whatever it is, and we're going to cook it.
Yep.
And that's it. Yeah. That's it. That's like all we're going to do, or like, yeah, like if you're trying to get in the habit of working out, like you're saying, like if you just wake up and the day comes at you and you have no plan for it, like that gives me anxiety thinking about it. Like sitting down with Andy and I, like at night, a lot of the time I'll be like, okay, what's your plan for the morning? And he's like, I was going to go for a run. I'm like, okay, then I'm going to strength train in the morning in the garage, or because someone needs to be home with the kids, like, but like
you have to plan it out.
Yeah, if we're both
talk about it.
If we're not talking about it and we both think we're going for a run in the morning, and then I wake up and he's already getting ready, and I'm upset because I wanted to go for a run, and I'm like, well, screw it, sometimes this is probably a personality thing, but it can be hard for me to adjust and be like, okay, well, I'll just go work out in the garage then. But like if that's what I was planning on already, then like again, like I'm not having to think about it. That mental load is gone already. I already know what's going to happen, So I think talking about it and kind of planning it out is like a good.
Yeah. And the kids, like, even I know, like on the weekends, if I'm sleeping in a little bit longer, then I'll, maybe go for a run in the afternoon. Or they all know mom's going to move at some point.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're going to exercise at some point today or whatever. They know that.
Now.
Yeah.
That's true. And yeah, like Andy and I are like that too. Or I think communication is huge, but if the girls were up at night, I'll be like, I need to sleep a little bit longer. Can I have time later in the day? Yeah. Yep, cool. Okay, we'll figure it out then.
Yeah.
But like because it's our identity, because it's our lifestyle, we know that those things are gonna happen.
Yep. I think part of it is too just there's so much out there on social media and like being educated on it. I guess even like it doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be hard. And just taking those simple steps of coming to the gym or, getting a plan in place of what you want to do for movement, physical activity, and just start small and then do that consistently.
Yeah.
And then you'll slowly add things in, and nutrition-wise too. It's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I had to get over, when I really started being a little more disciplined I had to get over what other people are thinking.
Yeah.
Like, who's she bringing her food? Who's she doing this? I'm like, sorry. Like, I know I'm going to feel better and be a more productive mom and a happier person.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I plan ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like, they weren't like cheering you on in that, you know, but like you owned the identity and did it anyhow, and people figure it out. Yeah. Like this is how Val is. Yep. Yeah. And then then it like solidifies your identity and yeah, I think like deciding what is easy for you to do, like a manageable starting point. Like people started the gym and a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm gonna come 3 times a week, or sometimes it's like I'm gonna come once a week, whatever you can start with. Like you have to start somewhere in order for it to become discipline.
And it's not easy.
Yeah.
And it's gonna hurt. You're gonna be sore.
Yeah. Like, just know it. Own it.
Yes. Like it's not. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, for a lot of people who start off, you're not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. Especially if you've never done it before. Like you're not gonna love it at first.
Yeah.
Like,
not enjoy it, but you may not.
Yeah.
But, like you'll get to where you're like, okay, I feel better. Yeah, I kind of like doing this.
Yeah.
And you'll find the things that you maybe enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then like being around the people and like catching that motivation part of it too, like feeds that discipline too, and keeps you coming back, you know?
Yeah.
And again, it's like you have to do something a lot of times before it becomes a
Oh, yeah.
discipline or a habit or part of your lifestyle, part of your identity. So I think, you know, you were kind of talking about like a program or a gym or whatever, like I think committing to something is huge and sticking with it. You know, like if you try something for 6 weeks and then decide it's not for you, well, that's fine, but like then choose something else and stick with it. If you just keep changing every 6 weeks, like you cannot expect to see long-term change
In
your
anything.
in anything, like in your appearance, in your attitude, in your thoughts, in your habits, like in 6 weeks. You
No.
know, like this is a lifestyle
It
we're
is.
talking about,
Yeah.
you know. So like finding something that you can stick with, I think is really
Yeah.
really important, or else it's just gonna feed this, you know. And you gotta build wins under your belt too, which is why I think it's important to never miss a Monday. You know, like if you come to the gym on a Monday morning, you start your week strong. Like you've already got a win under your belt, like you've accomplished something.
Sure.
So like if you are just constantly bouncing around from program to program or missing days at the gym and creating excuses for yourself and not coming back, like those aren't wins. Like those are failures. And now you're feeding like this identity of like, this
I'm
doesn't
failing.
work, I'm not doing it, like I'm lazy, like all these negative things that need reprogrammed.
And, you know, and everyone has setbacks. Everyone fails.
Yes.
There, you know, or you go on vacation for a week
Yes.
and you maybe don't work out when you're on vacation. That's okay. But don't let that set you back even more. Like,
Yes.
okay, yes, I failed today. I didn't get out of bed in time to get, you know, for my workout, but I'm going to get back there tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
don't let it trickle into more and more and more and more.
Yeah. Yep. Other setbacks I think of, financial setbacks. You know, like I feel like when finances are tight, like the gym is one of the things
Yeah.
to go, you know, and I empathize with that. Like, you know, like finances for people are a real thing.
Yep.
But then I also think about like when I am like working out, like my mind is invigorated with ideas. And that is like, I have like better work time.
Oh, yes.
You know, like working out feeds my productivity. It feeds like everything. So again, that's like another thing that like I feel sad when that happens, because I get the like stress of
Yeah.
that. Like Andy and I've both quit our jobs before and lived on chicken and rice and waitress seen money, you know, like you know, I get that. But like being creative with your solutions and finding ways to stay focused, you know, because seasons change, but like you need your body. I can't really remember where I was going with that, other than like that setback, financial setbacks. I think about injuries.
And that's really hard.
So hard. And
So hard.
like that can be another one that like can I mean, injury tanks a motivation.
Oh,
you know, like
yes.
if you're training for a race and you get injured and you were riding on motivation,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
but if you're disciplined, then you think like, no, I'm a person who trains no matter what. So even though I can't run the distances I want to, like I can train other
Differently.
areas of my body. Like I can train differently. But
Yep.
that's where discipline steps in when motivation isn't there.
Yep.
You know? Illness.
Yep.
Illness can be another setback.
You know, family life.
Yeah,
Maybe
family
something
life.
happens in the family. You
Yeah.
know, that's hard sometimes too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But I
Like,
feel like even if bad things are happening to you, you know, you have different setbacks and things, like moving a little bit just sparks that mood a little bit. You feel a little better. You have a little more energy. You're like, okay, yes, I can face today. I can.
yeah.
It's a big thing. Like
Yeah.
I can tell if I have a handful of days off and haven't been moving, like I go crazy.
Feel it. Yeah, I know. Well, I
Ask
know,
my husband and kids. They know.
like last night after bedtime, or like during bedtime, kind of, I was like, I think I'm gonna go for a run tonight. And I told Andy like what he had some work to do, so I kind of saw the opening, like he needed to work on some stuff,
Right.
and I didn't have to coach this morning, so I could stay up a little bit later. And like for where I am right now, like my ankle is kind of bum. Like it wasn't like, and I'd already lifted that day. Like it wasn't like I needed movement. This was like a snack for me, like a bonus, you know? But yeah, it was like my mental health just needed that. And this is part of my life. So yeah, let's go do it, you know? Okay.
And I think people need to know too, like, it's not a quick fix. That's why you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's, that quick fix.
Yeah. Yep. And if this is something you struggle with, like, don't do it all.
Right.
Don't do it all.
Right. Because then you are going to be, and like, I can't do any of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And if someday, like, you have more obstacles than other days, like, you might reframe your thought to be like, okay, what's the 5-minute version of a win, you know? Or like, what's nutritionally, like, I don't have what I wish I had, but like, what's the best option that I have right now that I can still count as a win, versus being like, oh, I didn't bring what I needed and now it's a fail, you know? But like, even just like, what's a better option? What's a, like,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be a loss just because it's not perfect. You know, you can still be on the road to progress and building the discipline when it's not perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
That negative self-talk is a big thing.
Yeah, so big. Reframe it.
Yeah. We all have troubles with that. Like,
Yeah.
I do. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's okay. I'm disciplined. I'm moving for the long run. I feel better. Like, this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to say that to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this.
Yeah. I think people get like really hung up on tracking things that aren't actually indicative of their progress. So like, like when you're trying to be disciplined at things, like having markers of progress can be really helpful in like keeping motivation to help you establish the discipline. But again, like if you're tracking, like using the scale,
throw it away.
Yeah. Like it's just hard. Yeah. Like to me, I would not use that as an indicator of progress. But like if you're working on establishing discipline, then it's like, did I train 3 times this week? Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm moving in the right direction. Like, did I make a better choice for meals this week? Yes, I did. Okay, great. I'm moving in the right direction. Like broadening the wins a little bit to help your mindset.
Yes.
Tracking things that are more like behavior focused than outcome focused. It's like how you're living your life and counting those wins. And then like, again, like think cognitively, like recognizing it. Like I'm winning. I'm doing what I need to be doing,
Yep. I'm taking those steps the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about it already, but accountability, like joining a community that has the same values as you, like changes everything. Like it just changes everything.
You see in so many different gyms that people come and go all the time, all the time. But you see those that have that community, we've had the same 5:15 morning crew. We have new people, which is great too.
Yeah, and we love
new
come
people.
be a part of the crew.
But
there's been people there for. We started the gym in 2020, so going on 3, 4, 5 years. Some of these people have been training together.
Yeah.
You know, I can't think of a lot of my friends that I see that many hours a week.
Yeah.
And get that time with. So it's like,
and you notice if they're not there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, where have they been all week, or what's going on? I hope they're okay.
Yeah.
And they're reaching out to you.
Yeah. It becomes more than just fitness, nutrition.
Yeah.
Related. Like we care about each other as humans. Like again, because we share a lot of the lifestyle values. To train at 5:15 a.m. Like. You just connect on other levels too.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, like you're saying, like when people aren't around, like there's accountability,
Yeah.
in that.
Yep. Or even confiding in a good friend or your spouse or somebody and saying, this is what my goals are. I want to get disciplined in this area.
Yeah.
You want to do it together, or I just need your support. Like we need to talk about what the week looks like or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're on the same page.
Yeah.
Because that's who you need.
Yeah. Like, building your support team. I know this is silly, but like Snapchat, like I just love, I love my friends on Snapchat because I love like the accountability of that, like, and even like silly things like Strava, tracking your runs on Strava, like Alex had a drop on Saturday morning at like 4:30 a.m. She was out running, and Andy saw her her drop on Strava. And so today he was up. He was like, "If Alex can get up at 4:30 and run, like I can get up at 4:30. I'm getting up at 4 to get my reading time in, and then I'm going for a run." And so he did. But like he planned that and went to bed early last night so he could get enough sleep to get up. But like he was encouraged by our community. You know, like if she can do it, I can do it. And like I'll get Snapchats from you, like. You know, like, okay, Val's out for a run. Like, yep, we got this. We can do this. You know, Hannah has a bum ankle right now too, and she'll send me like Snapchats of her like icing her ankle, or like, okay, I'm building up the tolerance on my ankle by doing some intervals. And I'm like, yep, good. You know, like it's not an excuse not to do something.
Right.
You know, so like just seeing people and having accountability around you.
Yeah. Well, like social media wise, then follow the people that help that not bring the negative in.
Yeah.
You know, and I think too, for the opposite side, like you see people that have time for all that, they're doing that, like, good grief, I'm not doing enough. Well, you can't think it that way. Like, okay, I know she's a busy mom and has all this too, so like, well, if she can do it, I can squeeze in something. It may not be to the extent that they're doing it. Yeah. But surround like your social media with the people that don't bring the negative, which is really hard to do. But and you can kind of control that a little bit.
Yeah, and it like even what you're saying is interesting to me. Like, is it the content that they're putting out, or is it like something in me that's thinking about it that way? Right. You know, like if I'm noticing that I'm like constantly thinking negatively by someone's posts, like probably need to not look at that anymore. You know, but I don't know. If there's something I need to change in my thinking, like you're saying, then maybe I just need to do that. Yeah. Discipline.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard, but once you, then it just becomes, it's just a habit. It's just
who you are. Yeah. So there's nothing.
Just start small, and it can be anything from fitness to wellness to like I need more sleep. So maybe you're gonna be trying being more disciplined about going to bed at the same time every night. Yeah. Your faith. Like,
setting your phone down so that you can
have a daily devotion or whatever it is, or like there's so many things you can be disciplined. And I know I want to be better in different areas too, disciplined in different areas, but start small.
Pick one thing, do it.
Motivation runs out.
Nothing to it but to do it. Okay, well, tell us how you're going to be motivated. Comment, share, reach out if you're needing some accountability, like, or just like people to be around that share your values. Like, come be with us. like it's a community that's inclusive, and again, like every body type, every phase of life is represented here. So like don't let those mindset excuses or fears hold you back from becoming the person that you want to be. Like, start somewhere. Okay. Cool. Thanks. All right, see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
It's a beautiful life.